few years ago, this photo went viral. It portrayed a woman on her wedding day, what was supposed to be the happiest day of her life, with a very melancholy look on her face. But who is this man? Well, at first people thought that this photo was fake, but turns out this photo is as real as it gets. This is Tyler Ziegel. He was born and bred and raised in Illinois, USA, and he was sent to Iraq when he was only 21 years old. He was a Marine who suffered a huge amount. He was willing to give up his life for his country, but was eventually abandoned by the very government who he swore his loyalty to. The year following his arrival in Iraq, he was involved in a suicide bombing attempt. A guy blew up a bomb right next to a truck that was carrying him and 6 other Marines. Tyler survived, but only barely. Listen to these injuries. His left arm was later amputated below the elbow. 3 fingers of his right hand were lost, and in place of the thumb, a big toe was transplanted. Tyler became blind in one eye, and his ears, nose, and lips were burnt off. But despite his injuries, he was and is considered to be a patriot's dream, a guy that goes to a faraway country to fight for his homeland. He returned an absolute hero. People went nuts when he came back. He was on the news, he received the Purple Heart from the US military, and he even got the chance to marry Renee Klein, his high school sweetheart who he had been dating before he went off to Iraq. Their wedding day was even made a public holiday in Illinois, and that is where this photo was taken. At first, things were okay, but after a year, the two of them divorced. Renee said that she simply could not accept his change in appearance. And also, apparently her old flame from when Tyler was deployed reappeared. That old chestnut. And from here on, his life kind of spiraled into a really dark place. So firstly, he was not able to work. I mean, look at the guy. He is deformed. He wasn't able to do too much in regards to contributions towards society after his injuries. So the US government said, no problem. For everything that you've gone through, we are going to pay you a salary. And they first agreed on $4,000 per month. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, this guy has gone through like a life-altering thing, but still, thanks. And then do you know what they did? They cut it from $4,000 a month to $2,700 a month. That is what Tyler Ziegel and his pain was worth to the US government. He requested for it to be put up to the original $4,000, which is at least livable, and they just refused. They were like, no, sorry, we can't. Do you know how he eventually got it pushed up to that point? Is he had to go to CNN and request for a video investigation to be done. And then the US government was like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. The guy was struggling, man. He had his entire face blown off. He was partially blind. He had a toe where his thumb should be, and he had no facial features. Like, just think about that for a moment. He had no ears. He had no nose. He had no lips. He couldn't smell. He couldn't kiss. He couldn't make love. I'm joking. I have no idea if that was affected or not. But he was a broken man. And he's the personification of the evil of war. A young man, barely 20, sent to fight the war started by a man behind a desk. He spent the last few years of his life extremely alone. He developed a severe drinking problem and eventually died in December 2012 from an overdose of alcohol and morphine. Tyler Ziegel fits the mold of what an American hero is perfectly. And I do agree with that. However, I can't help but think that him, his injuries, and his death is simply just a cog in a much larger machine. Because after he came back, and after all the fanfare of his importance died down, then the US government essentially just paid him $2,700 to shut up and stay away and keep at bay. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I genuinely don't think that enough is being done for veterans. I think that when it comes to someone like this, take care of him. Don't just push him to the side, because then you'll end up like Tyler Ziegel did.